Hey, how's it going? Welcome to News Act, Thursday, 24th February 2022. Look front the papers as always. First up, New York Times, Vlad has gone full invasion now, as opposed to the half invasion we had during the week. Down here, bottom left, a couple of the prosecutors have walked off the Trump investigation because apparently the new district attorney has indicated that they might not press charges against Trump, so big enough development there. New York Times International Edition, some opinion piece on the left from Madeleine Albright. Jesus Christ, thought that woman was dead. This is the woman who in the mid-90s was asked about UN sanctions against Iraq. The reporter said to her, "We've heard that 500,000 children have died. That's more children than died in Hiroshima. And you know, is the price worth it?" And Madeleine Albright replied, "We think the price is worth it." Over on the right, a narrative designed to legitimize an invasion. It says here, quote, "The culmination of a propaganda barrage orchestrated by Russian state media in recent days, a stark demonstration of how the Kremlin can use its dominance of the airwaves to lay the groundwork for political decision that could cause widespread pain. The Kremlin's unfounded claims that people are being subjected to genocide by the Ukrainian forces." This sounds an awful lot like the Western government's completely unfounded claims of WMDs in Iraq, or a potential massacre in Benghazi, or the use of chemical weapons in Syria, all completely fabricated to further the perpetual war machine. Now, I'm not here trying to justify Putin's actions. All acts of aggression and murder are despicable and should be challenged. Perhaps if the corporate-controlled media offered the same level of scrutiny to Western-led interventionism, there wouldn't have been 36 million refugees and counting off the back of US military involvement in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, the Philippines, Iraq, Syria and Libya. These same media outlets cheered on the illegal invasion of Iraq in 2003, an invasion started on a completely fabricated pretext that Iraq had WMDs. They similarly cheered when the UK, France and the USA conducted a humanitarian intervention in Libya in 2011, which was later described in a government report as resulting in political and economic collapse, intermilitia and intertribal warfare, humanitarian and migrant crisis, widespread human rights violations, the spread of regime weapons across the region, and the growth of ISIS in North Africa. The claims that Gaddafi used African mercenaries, launched airstrikes on civilians in Benghazi, and employed Viagra-fueled mass rape as a weapon of war were also completely invented, but reported across the media spectrum as fact. Wall Street Journal, Russia, Ukraine, something about COVID down the bottom. Nash Post candidate Justin Trudeau has rescinded this emergency act for COVID. Over on the right, Vlad, grandma from Cuba, story there about Russia. Some high up Russian lawmaker is visiting Cuba at the moment. Of course, Russia, one of the few countries to help out Cuba during the pandemic and since the illegal US blockade of Cuba. Down the bottom, quote from Fidel, "Before the great works, the idea has to go, the awareness of what has to be done." Yes, thank you, Fidel. Star for South Africa, budget is out, politics down the bottom, Corona, Jerusalem Post, Israel, Russia, Ukraine, Tehran Times, truckers protest in Canada again. Over on the right, Republicans have largely become a party of extremists. Have always been, mate. The Hindu over here, story about India and Russia. India basically said, yeah, you're slapping sanctions on Russia, but whatever, we're still getting our S-400 missile systems and other various defence items we've ordered from them, so stick it. Australian top left, Petra Credlin, which sounds like a fake name. Underneath that she's written, "Beware the woke cowboy capitalist." As opposed to the totally ethical, normal capitalist we've come to know and love. I don't know. Underneath that, Russia sanctions. Global Times China, there's Vlad, celebrating Russia's Defender of the Fatherland Day. That's a holiday that was first marked in 1918 to mark the mass draft into the Red Army. At the time, you might remember the Red Army as providing the largest land force in the Allied victory in the European theatre of World War II, and their invasion of Manchuria assured the unconditional surrender of Imperial Japan. During operations on the Eastern Front, the Red Army accounted for 80% of casualties that the Wehrmacht and the Waffen-SS suffered, and ultimately captured the Nazi-controlled capital of Berlin. So, thank you for your service. Irish Examiner, TV, fashion, Russia, Ukraine, Irish Times, property, there's Vlad again, Ukraine, Irish Sun, celebs, true crime, Belfast Telegraph, human interest, true crime, the Herald from Scotland, football, there's Vlad again, Financial Times, Vlad again. Over on the right, hard to see, but it says methane underreported by 70%. That's a report from the International Energy Agency. They've used a bunch of satellite data to say, yeah, it's completely been undercounted. And oil and gas companies, they churn out around 40% of human-produced methane, and they leak a lot of it. A lot of it just leaks out of the gas system. And they're basically coming out of the energy agency saying, maybe if you plugged up the leaks, you could also make more profit because the price of gas is going up. Another wild thing in this article says that the energy agency estimates that the amount of methane leaked is equivalent to all the gas Europe burned to meet its power needs in the year. Totally mad. Down here, Richie Sunak talking about bringing in tax rises in Britain. The Guardian, Putin ready to invade. This went to press a bit late. There he is again. Times, something about Delta infections. There's a pair of royals. The one on the left, of course, related to Prince Andrew, who basically admitted he raped an underage girl, was trafficked with Jeffrey Epstein. People then finds who did not kill himself, RIP. On the right, Princess Mary of Denmark. Didn't really have time to look up what the problem with her is, but she's a royal, so that's enough for me. Ukraine, the right-hand side. Daily Telegraph, Ukraine, Richie Sunak tax. Independent, 4 stories on top. ISIS, Boris, lifestyle, football. There's Vlad again. Daily Express, NHS, Rishi taxes. There's the pair of royals. That'll turn on a lot of conservatives, I guess. Daily Mail, royals again. Security chief tells our spies to go woke. Oh my God, there is no news item where the culture war cannot be inserted. This is basically saying that, Ukraine crisis kicking off. We should be able to send our spies over there, get James Bond over to fucking bump off Vlad or whatever, but we can't send James Bond because he was a misogynist. You're not allowed to be misogynistic anymore in the security forces. What is happening to our beautiful British security services? Daily Mirror, celeb death, RIP, I guess. Celebs, Ukraine underneath. My newspaper, TV, Russia. Oh, another future Queen of England down the bottom left. Camilla, children should be taught to respect women. This is the woman who's related to Prince Andrew, who admitted to rape an underage girl, trafficked Jeffrey Epstein, people have been in fines who did not count himself, or IP. If you're a royal, shut up about this stuff. Stop talking. Metro, celebs, Putin's gone full Tonto. Guess that's some kind of racist reference to the mate of the Lone Ranger, Tonto. This is Ben Wallace, the Defence Secretary. That man is in charge of a large chunk of the country as the Defence Secretary and the British Army, and he's coming out saying this type of stuff. He himself, of course, served in Northern Ireland, so not a stranger to imperial warmongering. Daily Star, celeb death, Vlad's full Tonto. There you go. Big day, I guess. Just to sum this up from me, wars of aggression, regardless of who started them, bad. Media complicity in Western wars of aggression, far worse. The manufacturing of consent, that type of thing. And the media double standards when it comes to the crimes of enemies, worse again. It might seem like a bad day, but if you invested in oil, it's a pretty good day. And if you invested in stocks in Raytheon or BAE Systems, then yeah, line only go up. It's a good day for you. This is the part of the video where I normally say if you want to stay off state corporate social media for the day, just click the link in the description and you can do that, no problem. But I'd highly recommend you do what I do right after this, which is log off. It's propaganda all the way down. If you are online, believe nothing, question everything, but know this, Julian Assange is still in jail at Her Majesty's pleasure without fair trial or due process in the maximum security Belmarsh prison. Alright, that's it from me. Take it easy. Good luck.